Jeannie here with Rooted in Love Urban Homestead. Please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel to keep up with the latest in our urban homestead. Today we're going to talk about propagating tomatoes. And this is a way to get more tomatoes for free. And for us, it's a way to extend our growing season. So as you can see, our tomatoes are at the end of their growing season. Right now it's the second week of August, and we have quite a few more months until our latest frost. So what we're going to do is take a cutting from our tomato plants, our heirloom Cherokee purple tomatoes, and Ron is going to tell us how to do it and how to propagate it to grow more tomatoes so we can extend our growing season until our last frost, which is supposed to be about mid-October for us. We're in zone 7B.
So we've got one little Cherokee purple we can pick today. Right here. Oh, it's got a stink bug on it. So today we are going to clone some of our tomato plants, and you can do this early in the season and make more tomato plants. In our case, we are going to try to have a late season harvest of some of our Cherokee purple tomatoes. So these are our tomato plants. They've kind of quit producing. They still have a few tomatoes, but they're just not doing very good. So I'm going to take and cut off some of the suckers and plant them in dirt and make new tomato plants, and hopefully we'll have a nice little harvest of tomatoes in September or October. So what I'm looking for, you want to look for your plants that produce the most or did well or were super tasty or whatever, and that's the ones you want to clone. As an example, this plant down here did not hardly produce anything. It's got a couple on it now, but it didn't have a big harvest, so I'm not going to clone that one. I'm going to take some suckers off of these two here, and let's see, I'm going to get here on these. So yeah, so you want to get a sucker to clone, and the suckers are the ones that come out at a 45-degree angle from the stem. Like this is a sucker. This is a sucker. This is a sucker up here. I think I'm going to take this one right here. So the suckers will make a new plant. So I should also mention that you only want to do these clones with your heirloom tomatoes that are indeterminate, because they're the ones that grow all season. So what I've got here, I've got some of the cups like you've seen me use before. They have holes in the bottom. I filled them up with organic potting soil. I'm just going to get it good and wet. And we're also going to water them from the bottom as they grow. Right now I just want to get the soil good and wet. So we're going to try 3 plants and see how it goes. So you need to poke a hole down through the dirt. I'm going to use this pen. So you want to make a hole big enough that your stem will go down in. Like so. We'll take the sucker that we cut off, and we'll clip some of the leaves off the sides. And I'm just going to stick that down in there as far as it'll go. And with any luck, it will root and we will have new tomato plants. Same thing with this one. Same thing with this one. And you don't want any blooms on it. You want to just have leaves. It's got a couple little blooms starting, so I'm going to pluck those off.
Why don't you want to have any blooms?
They're too young. They need to get bigger before they have blooms. It's just like planting when you do your first planting in the spring, you don't want any blooms on the plant when they're real little. So this one got a couple too, so pull them off. And this one may have too. These little blooms off. And this should be good to go. So I will put these out on the deck and make sure they're good and wet.
Will you keep water in the bottom down there?
I'll just water it from the bottom now. They're good and wet. This one might need a little more. We just want to keep them moist, and hopefully in a few days they'll start growing.
So another way to propagate the tomato plants is if you cut the suckers off and then just place them in a jar with water in the sill of a window, and then just change the water out and they will grow roots, and then you can plant those roots to grow to more tomatoes. We hope you learned something today and are going to extend your growing season. One good thing about it is if you have tomato plants, you can take off suckers and root them and then give them as gifts to your friends and neighbors and share the tomato love. Until next time, may all you do be rooted in love.